Hey guys, what's up? Jeff Black here, pro glamour photographer out of Tampa, Florida, welcoming you back to howtoshootmodels.com. Today we are talking about cameras. What type of camera do I shoot with? Or maybe it doesn't matter what type of camera I shoot with, but I got an email from a guy asking me what kind of camera that I shoot with. And you'd probably find this hard to believe, but my favorite camera that I shoot with is a Fuji S2, which is a whopping 3.1 megapixel camera. Woohoo! It's huge. Excuse me. But I love the camera. The camera is simplistic. I know it like the back of my hand. If I'm shooting something web-based, I generally run for that camera just because I like it, man. So, you know, when you're in the market to purchase your first camera, let me caution you about a few things. Actually, let me tell you this before I even caution you about a few things. I remember a long time ago I heard somebody say, if I had $1,000 to spend on a camera, what should I buy? And the response was, buy yourself a $100 camera and spend the $900 on film. And, you know, let's bring that up to current technology date. Same thing applies, man. You know, Canon and Nikon are your two major players in digital cameras. Sony is starting to make a presence out there. I don't know a whole lot about Sony. Haven't shot with Sony and waiting for some reviews to come out on that. But if we're talking about the two major players, we've got Canon, we've got Nikon. Back in the day, and I guess technically we still have Fuji. Fuji had the S2, S3, and Fuji S5. But I just recently heard that Fuji is getting out of the prosumer line of cameras. So the Fuji S5 is going to be their last model. So I might caution you about purchasing that because you may have some problem with customer service if you need it. So let's take our two major players. We got Canon, we got Nikon. Well, if you've been shooting with one of these cameras for years and years and years, people are diehard about this stuff, man. It's a lot like Democrat or Republican. You're not changing people's mind, and their party's the best, their camera's the best. My buddies that shoot Canon will do MF Nikon as the day is long, and vice versa. But you know, for me, I'm going to tell you straight up, man, I'm not sponsored by any camera companies, so I'm not going to give you a biased opinion as to what I think's best. And honestly, my opinion is, you know, there's such a competitive rivalry between Canon and Nikon that if you were to purchase, you know, the most recent Nikon camera out there, and maybe it has one or two more bells and whistles than the Canon does, well, in 6 months, Canon is going to replicate whatever Nikon's doing, and vice versa. So if you're just starting out, you know, you haven't purchased any lens, you don't have any vested interest in one or the other, what I would recommend doing, you know, is look for what's going to be in your budget, number one. And I wouldn't start off with a $2,000 or $3,000 camera. I might start off with something, you know, heck, that Fuji S3 or S2 that I shoot with, you can probably buy that on eBay for 75 bucks. Where your investment is going to be wise is in your glass. And your glass is simply your lenses. I've got lenses that I've purchased 5-6 years ago that I could probably turn around today and sell for pretty close to what I purchased them for. Alternatively, I've got cameras that I bought 6 months ago that, you know, I couldn't sell them for a third of the price that they are now. So, you know, whatever camera you decide to pick, realize that that's not an investment initially. You know, you're gonna wind up losing a substantial amount of money on that. So I would probably, you know, recommend to you guys, not even probably, I would do this definitively. I would tell you, listen, buy an inexpensive camera that's got some of the capacity that you need. Invest your money wisely in the glass for these cameras, and then eventually, you know, if you wind up taking this photography very seriously, you can move up in cameras. The other problems that you're going to have right out of the gate if you purchase one of these Billy Badass cameras is there's so many bells and whistles on these damn things today that it can really be overwhelming to you. It can actually hurt you more than it can help you. You know, there's cameras out there now that have GPS systems on there. which is actually a pretty cool feature. If I'm out on location, I can punch in the coordinates, and if I go back to that city, I can find that. That is pretty neat, but are you going to need that just starting out? Probably not. There's capabilities to tether your camera to your computer so you can pull them up. If I was in a studio, model wants to see what's going on, or the client wants to see what's going on, yeah, that's a pretty cool feature. But do you need that right out of the gate? Probably not. Now, another thing that you're going to get with these high-priced cameras are these huge megapixels. Right now, I think there's 21 megapixel cameras out on the market. Well, for me, if I'm doing a typical studio shoot, model comes in, I'm probably going to shoot close to 1,000 pictures on that model. Now, if I'm using a 21 megapixel camera, the file sizes are astronomical. They're huge. They're absolutely just mind-boggling big. So if I do a shoot 1,000 pictures and I have 40, 50, 60 megabyte files, my computer's going to have a meltdown after the shoot. And if I'm not shooting commercially, if I'm not doing this for a magazine, there's absolutely no need to shoot, with a camera that has that capacity. And there's no need to pay for a camera that has that capacity. So you're really throwing your money away. Megapixels is not going to make you a better photographer. That's plain and simple. You can go into forums and you can ask people, what camera should I buy? What do they suggest? And everybody wants this new Billy Badass camera that just came out on the market. It's a huge waste of money when you're first starting out. For me, I've got clientele, that I need to produce very large images for. And for that, I have cameras to do just that. But, if you're setting up your home-based studio, you're shooting some girls that are out there, coming into you, they want to put a portfolio up on, one of the modeling sites or a website or something like that, don't waste your money with these megapixel cameras. You just don't need it. So, again, like I said, invest wisely in your glass, move into a camera eventually. So I hope that saves you some money in the long run. If you got any questions about cameras that you want to know about, go ahead and email me. I might be able to help you out with some advice on them. Thanks.